Well, hello, everybody. It's Saturday night, and we're going to cover a few happenings in the news for music this week. I hope everybody's had a great week at work and you're enjoying your weekend. To kind of start things off, we had four singers in the last few weeks that have passed. Chuck Negrin, he passed at the age of 83. He was one of the three singers for Three Dog Night. And let me get this here. I want to make sure I get this right. Yeah, Chuck sang lead on Joy to the World, one Old Fashioned Love Song. Hey, Roger Blair. Easy to Be Hard, and The Show Must Go On. And as you know, with Three Dog Night, they each took their turns singing lead on the different songs. And another person that passed was Bob Weir of the Grateful Dead fame. He had a CD called Kingfish. And I have that CD and I really liked it. Not a big Grateful Dead fan, but I liked that particular CD. You might want to give it a listen to. And then for people who remember The Fifth Dimension, Lamont McLemore, he passed. And they just had huge hits in the late 60s and early 70s. I should have used one of their songs and misheard lyrics because in the beginning, I thought their big hit was Stone Cold Picnic, but it's actually Stoned Soul Picnic. And everybody remembers Aquarius. That was probably their biggest hit that I know of. And Up, Up, Away in My Beautiful Balloon, another huge song. And then when Marilyn McCoo wanted to propose to her bandmate and now husband, she wrote Wedding Bell Blues. So there we go. Brad Arnold is probably the most recent band. He was founder and lead singer for Three Doors Down. You know, they had the big hit Kryptonite and Here Without You. So that's just a few things that happened in recent music history. Another thing that I wanted to talk about a little bit. Let me get this pulled back up. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they're going to be coming up with their list of people to vote on for inductees for 2026. And I just wanted to mention a few of the groups that are not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, or as some of us call it, the Rock and Roll Hall of Shame. These groups, and you know what they say about opinions. Opinions are like armpits. Some stink worse than others. But I can't believe Boston's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Their debut album, self-titled Boston, was what most bands would call their greatest hits compilation. There was not a bad song on that album, which is outrageously unusual to happen. Usually an album's going to have two or three big songs, And the exception to that rule is Boston's debut album. Michael Jackson had an album that was like that. Just about every song was great. Fleetwood Mac had albums like that. So just a few bits of information there. Another band that's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is Kansas. Carry On, Wayward Son, Dust in the Wind. I can't imagine them not being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Kansas is one of the groups that I think they are poets in that they write tremendously good material and put it to music. And another band that I just when I saw that they were not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it was another I can't believe this, and that's INXS, Australian band. But I mean, they just had so many hits in the 80s. Hey, little Cam, hang on just a second. Yeah. So that's just a couple of the bands that I think it's just a shame that they're not in there. A couple other bands that deserve an entry, maybe not as high level of success as the ones I've already mentioned, but Iron Maiden is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Five Finger Death Punch. Toto's not in there. And I know some people don't call them rock and roll, but if they'll let in some of the groups that they've let in or individual singers they've let in the last 25 years, they better let the Carpenters in. Karen Carpenter gets quoted as being one of the most unique singers that there is. And her brother Richard, he is just outrageously great at writing music, writing and arranging music. Has Five Finger Death Punch been around long enough? I think the criteria is they have to, the first major album release 25 years after that release, they're eligible for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But I'm going to put a couple of links in chat. Save these, and I'll put them in chat a little bit later too. Because I won't. That's where you vote, and this is just the general Rock and Roll Hall of Fame website. But okay, little Cam, yeah, they got to be. I'm pretty sure it's 25 years, but 25 years. Boston's debut album was in '76, so they've been eligible since 2001. INXS, they've been eligible since around 2007. I don't know either, Roger Blair, but some of the groups they've let in the last, especially the last 10 years, oh my goodness. Yeah, they used to be good. They used to be really good, but I don't know. There's channels that have much more resources than I have. It's just me here. That's all. But I've asked them to take a close look at how some of the voting goes, or how it's how the score is kept, I guess is the best way to put it, for songs that or are streamed or on the radio today. Because I saw where a Seven Army Nation did not break the top 50, and that song was everywhere. I didn't know of anybody that didn't like that song, no matter what type of music they usually listen to. So it is hard for me to believe they didn't break the top 50. I think they went to like 73, something like that on the count, but I know they didn't break the top 50. And that song gets played at sporting events. It's one of the most recognizable beats. I mean, it's up there with I Can't Get No Satisfaction, that lead guitar, Smoke on the Water, Led Zeppelin. I mean, some of the greatest guitar riffs that there are. So, what can I say? Let me check and make sure I didn't. Zac Brown Band. Now, I don't think Zac Brown Band has been around long enough, but I tell you, I am not a country music fan, but I like some of the songs by Zac Brown Band. Toes is hilarious. The music video is hilarious. It's extremely creative. And Colder Weather, that is just a fantastic song. The piano in that song is superb, absolutely superb. So I would not challenge Zac Brown getting in at all. So let's see here. What else was I going to cover? I don't think I'm going to cover anything there because that's a blank page. Do 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 do. I put those out there, and you guys remind me to put the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the vote, and the regular website so that everybody knows where to go. But if you Google Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it'll come up. Okay, that's taken care of. Close that one. I don't think I need that one. And I appreciate your patience while I go through my notes here. I didn't lose you guys, did I? Val, welcome, Val. Sharon, thank you for coming by today. You know how much I appreciate you guys. And something that we were talking about the other night got me thinking about the movie Saturday Night Fever. And I went back and I watched it again, but I watched it with critical eyes. I mean, it wasn't the excitement of a teenage Jim hearing, all the great new music and everything. I was watching it to just remind myself of exactly what the movie was about. So if you guys in chat don't mind, would you just type a couple of words about how you remember Saturday Night Fever? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did it represent to you? Was it more the music, or was it John Travolta, Donna Pascal? Oh my goodness. I was head over heels for that woman. I thought she looked great. But if you guys would type that in chat, I would really appreciate it. And I'll read what you have. Val just puts a dancing icon. That's pretty cool. Don't worry, I'm not going to dance. I'm in a very limited space. Okay. Well, full of energy, great dance moves. Sharon, I am going to bet that that's what most people are going to remember about that movie. And I remembered that, and I remembered a couple of other things. But what I didn't see as a teenager was the entire movie. I mean, the entire movie was dirty and grungy, except on the dance floor. When they went to the practice hall, I mean, it wasn't a down and out place, but it wasn't sparkly and overly upbeat. It was just kind of plain Jane. Walking through the streets when John Travolta is when they're first opening, and he's walking up the street. If you look in the where the sidewalk meets the road, it's just litter, thick litter, and dirty, and really the character that John Travolta plays. He turns around and starts walking behind women. He, well, Val, whatever your opinion is, that's fine. He turns around and he gets in front of this one girl that doesn't want to be bothered. There's well, not everybody likes it enough to see it more than once. I'd only seen it until I watched it this week. I'd only seen it maybe twice. I mean, I went with a buddy of mine to see it, and it was good enough. I took my girlfriend to see it, and that was about it. Hardware store worker, and the hardware store was cluttered and kind of dingy. It when John Travolta walks back into the house, he's at odds with all of his family except his little sister. And his little sister is dressed a lot like he is. They both have on a red shirt and dark pants. And like I said, they get along. And then when you get into, I'm all about blue jeans myself. And then when they go into the dance floor, everything's bright, everything is clean. Probably the biggest downside to the dance area is where they're seated at the table. But even that looks better than what's outside. They got the lights going on, everybody's dressed nice, and it just really builds up the disco as being the fun, clean place to be, a respite in the dingy city life as such. Yeah, and the thing of it is it's got, and I got to be careful how I word this because YouTube will shut it down. It has got several cases of unwanted and rejected adult relation advances. And when you know the R word for that. So, and that happened a couple of times. And there was kind of like a little mini gang fight. And they ran a car through a wall and got into a fight with people. And then there was a guy who was upset with what was going on between him and his girlfriend, and he jumped off the bridge. I mean, if you start looking at the whole movie, it's kind of a dark movie. Greenland Part Two. I haven't seen those. These days I don't go to the theaters, and I don't. Yeah, I don't pay for any services, streaming services. I just have my internet, and whatever comes in at no charge, that's what I'll watch. So that's kind of the downside to the movie. But there you go. But then when you get to the music, and this is what always amazed me, the Bee Gees was asked to write the music for the movie. They had excuse me, they had not seen any of the movie. They didn't have a clue about other than it was going to be about a disco and take place in New York City. And they wrote um, the best music for it. I mean, they and this is the story that I've heard, so feel free to check it out and fact check me. But I had heard that they'd already done the lead in where John Travolta is walking up the sidewalk, and the Bee Gees had the perfect song for it. I mean, absolutely perfect. They did. These are some of the songs that they wrote for the movie: "Staying Alive," "How Deep Is Your Love," "Night Fever," "More Than a Woman." They wrote "If I Can't Have You," but they had Yvonne Elliman sing it. And then songs, and I've got the song list here in front of me, so I don't leave any out. There's a couple I'm going to leave out anyway, but the good ones, I want these to be in here. Um, a Fifth of Beethoven by Walter Murphy. That was just over the top. And then you had Jive Talking by the Bee Gees. You Should Be Dancing by the Bee Gees. And of course, the guy who took over disco for a while, KC and the Sunshine Band, Boogie Shoes. And of course, the Tramps did Disco Inferno. And there's a couple other songs that are in there. If you notice, when they're on the main dance floor in the disco, More Than a Woman is sung by the Bee Gees. When they're in the studio practicing their dance, More Than a Woman is sung by Tavares. Same song, two different singers. And I found that interesting. Yep. So you have both the Bee Gees singing More Than a Woman and Tavares singing More Than a Woman. They just, in the disco, they stepped it up. It was the Bee Gees. In the practice hall, they had a good group. I like Tavares, but they just did it a little different. A little different. And if you were on Moggs the other night, and we brought up the fact that Yvonne Elliman was singing "If I Can't Have You," I don't know why, but anytime I ever saw her perform that live, she always sped it up. And I don't know why she would speed it up so much, but she did. So that's my 2 cents on Saturday Night Fever. Juan is out on the town with his girlfriend, and I have not heard from Moggs. I hope that they are okay. All right. And I'm going to use one of Mog's ideas right now. Pick a number, anybody in chat, pick a number between 1 and 550. I guess we've got a really good delay, or nobody wants to pick a number. 333. Little Cam, first one coming through. On my screen, the first one that came up was Little Cam. So 333. We've got the book here, and we're going to go to 333. Give me just a couple of seconds here. Can't believe. There we go. Oh my goodness. In 1,000 record covers, Little Cam. Can't believe you picked this, but 333 is Hotel California. And that was on Asylum. It was released in 1970. Let me get some light on the subject. 1976. And the photo was by David Alexander. So I was going to just go to a random page, but Moggs had the suggestion for you guys to pick a number. And I like that idea. I really do. So since this is our first time, I'm going to do the second number I see also. 444. I should have kept it open to 333. I could have found 444 quicker. These pages are thicker than I was thinking they are. Because I'm what feels like a bunch of pages, and it's only a couple. And one more. 444. Let's see here. Make sure that's it. And get me some light here. We have It Bites, The Big Lad in the Windmill, and the painting is by David O'Connor. Isn't that interesting? But that is an interesting piece of art right there, isn't it? There we go. Let me put that out of the way. All right, guys. That is everything that I intended on covering. Mostly I would like to get people motivated to vote for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because that would just be really good to get good groups in there instead of some of the ones that's been nominated in recent years. And I'm sure there's other groups out there. Yes, I know the Guess Who. My girlfriend of a few years back, uh, she didn't like the Guess Who because they sang American Woman. Well, Val, why won't it show yours? There it is. Yeah, I like the Guess Who. I liked a lot of their stuff. Burton Cummings, I believe, was the lead singer's name. He had some really great songs. Let's see if I can. Well, it's not going to let me search for that. New Mother Nature. I like that one. Let me search this and make sure I don't leave anything out because it's kind of off the cuff. Dun dun dun. I've been searching for a song of theirs that doesn't exist. Really? Do you know a couple of words from the song? If you know a couple of words, that might remind me. Yeah, that was in 1970. These Eyes. That's the one I was trying to think of that I couldn't get the title in my head. No Sugar Tonight, New Mother Nature, uh, No Time, which is really good, Laughing, Undone. That's some of their bigger songs. Hey, Mabel. Mabel has a channel where she promotes people. She is so funny. I know I'm here. So as far as the you've been searching for a song of theirs that doesn't exist. Did you think of any words, Val? Angeline. Okay. Hang on for just a minute. If it's their greatest hits, I have that CD. I I, I don't want to go digging through all my CDs right now, but Mabel, I told you I'd be on camera here. Uh, but Val, you give me just a second here, and my spelling is horrendous, but I'll do the best I can. I'm trying to use one of the new search engines, and it says hey, it's too busy. Well, it's not going to let me. Okay, let's do this. There's more than one way to skin a rabbit. There's one that come up by the Allman Brothers titled Angeline. Could that be it, Val? Well, we don't need to listen to that. Val, try searching Angeline and Allman Brothers. See if that's it. Because I know sometimes it's easy to get the groups mixed up. Okay. Okay. What I will do is I will look that up on my greatest hits of the Guess Who because I'm pretty sure that's the CD that I have. And I might be able to walk over there and go straight to it. I might have to dig, and you might hear some. Well, Val, I'm going to go on the thought that that's what it is. Let's do this search. Maybe this will do the trick. Boy, I get all kinds of junk by a lot of different people besides the two bands we've even mentioned. And every time I think of the Guess Who, the other group that goes through my mind automatically is Sugarloaf. And I don't know why, but they came out about the same time. Well, that's a challenge. If it's out there, if it exists, Val, I will find it. So, dun-dun-dun. Thank you, Mabel. Let's see here. I want to. Mm-hmm. Well, I thought that might be a lead there, but it's not. Thank you, Mabel. What I'm doing here is I'm going back and I'm going to do a screenshot of that so that I remember to look it up. And we will find it. Well, that's okay. You know what? That's what this show is all about. Is we get together and we learn stuff together. Um, I'm no expert, but at the same time, I learn stuff from you guys. Hopefully, some of this information I got in my head will be interesting to you guys. And it's a ballad. Okay. Yeah. It's going to be my mission as soon as this live ends is to find that. And if you remember any other words or information, uh, just type it in chat, and we'll that will add to it. And you think it's from the 70s, Val, or the 80s? Do you remember? Yeah, it come back to an Angeline sung by Elvis Presley in the 70s and Angeline the Allman Brothers. So it's going back to that. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And when I hear Angeline, I think of older music. So that's like I say, Val, that's quite all right. Definitely was on the greatest hits 8-track from the 70s your cousin gave you. Well, Sharon, we're always glad to have you here, but we want you to get your rest too. So you take care. And I'm probably going to end this pretty soon anyway, Sharon, because I've covered all the material. But any questions anybody has, they're more than welcome to ask me. You get a good night's rest, and we will see you Tuesday night, if not before. And I hope you're over the flu. Everything here just spun out of control over the last couple of days. But okay. Dum. We got 45 minutes in. That's close enough to an hour. You guys, if If you want to come up and talk after the show is over, so you will not be uh, you won't be live streaming out, but we'll talk after the show since I'm going to close this down just a little bit early, and maybe we can talk and figure out this for Val, what song that is. You don't have to put your camera on. You can there's a button for turning your camera off, just like that. It's pretty much like StreamYard. And after the show is over, we'll just talk a little bit if you guys are interested. Knowing Mabel, she's doing 5 or 6 things at once. So there we go. All right, guys. I appreciate every one of you. I really do. And I hope that you have a great rest of your weekend and that nothing but kind words come your way. And we will catch you guys next time. And again, if you want to talk, not live, but just chit chat, hit that link. Well, the button to end things has disappeared. This is not good.